Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Talking Walls, and welcome back to the final part of our Sell, Loan, Keep series. Today, we're going to be looking at the attackers. Over the last couple of days, we've done the goalkeepers, defenders, and midfielders. So after this video, be sure to go and check those out. Alongside me today, we've got Mr. Matt Cooper. Matt, how you doing?
Yeah, very well. Thanks, Matt. You?
Yeah, very well. I'm glad you didn't give me a sarcastic reply like last time.
No. I'm trying to get it over and done with now. I'm knackered.
Yeah. And we've got Mr. Finn Morris. Finn, how you keeping?
I'm all right, and it's my turn now. I can't believe you're wearing the same hoodie 3 days in a row, Davis.
I know.
Yeah, you scruffy.
Smelly.
Like I said, we're going to be talking about the attackers, whether we would keep them for next season, loan them out, or just completely sell them. We've got quite a decent list today, obviously, of first-team players. It includes the attacking wingers as well, which we haven't spoken about yet, and some of the players that are currently out on loan. Matt, we'll start with you. We've got Mr. Pedro Neto. Obviously, was sidelined up until sort of February time. Has come in. Been quiet games, been good games, but towards the last few weeks of the season, it looks like he's slowly but surely getting back to his old self.
And Todd's always injured again.
Yeah.
It doesn't look to be serious, so does it?
Fingers crossed it's not yet.
Yeah, and I think he's not going to be involved with the Portugal squad for the next call up, which might do him good, to be honest. I think he's going to be integral to how we play. The last few games he's played well against Liverpool. I thought he was excellent before he got his goal and was injured. Chelsea, he played well. So yeah, absolutely keep him. His ceiling is extremely high, and if he does fulfil his potential, I don't think it's going to be at Wolves. But yeah, 100% keep him.
Yeah, Finn, he's come back from injury. If he can have an injury-free season next term, he's shown now, especially that game against Liverpool, he is capable of playing as that second striker as well if we wanted him to. And I think the result against Liverpool could have been different if he stayed on. I think this is a resounding keep, isn't it?
Yeah, he's the guy next season. I think he's the main man. I think every system we could possibly play in, he fits. As you say, yeah, even that two up front. So really excited for him next season. This season, as you say, was slightly worried with how he came back, but lovely assist against City, lovely goal against Liverpool. Looking good. As you say, he doesn't look too serious with the injury. Could be another one where they're like, oh yeah, he'll be out a few months like that kneecap, and then we're now a season later, and it's been a long time. But yeah, he's the guy, I think. So definitely keep.
Yeah, nice and easy start for us anyway. An extremely talented player. So fingers crossed. He was another one that was linked with a move away. PSG, were linked, but I think with those little injuries so far this season, I think he'll still definitely be a Wolves player next season. Now this one is probably one of the most interesting ones. I think we're going to have a discussion about Finn. Raul Jimenez. Been a strange season for him. Obviously, such a bad injury last season. He's come back, and I think in the back of our minds as Wolves fans, we just expected him to come back this season and almost be the player that we saw a couple of years ago. And although he's finished the season as our top goal scorer, as our player with the most assists as well, there are still whispers and debates on his position as a player next season. In your opinion, where do you see him being next summer?
The doubts are understandable. That's mad that he's. I mean, it's almost not an achievement, is it, to be our top goal scorer and assister this season, because the numbers are so in any other club. I don't think 6 goals would be winning you anything, but there's been flashes in the last few weeks. Like I thought he was pretty good against City. I can't remember his performance against Liverpool, but came out with an assist. At his age, at the length of contract, I can see why it's being debated. I'm trying to think of how many positions now in that first team are going to be replaced. I'm trying to now cling on to the fact of, we can't replace too many, if you know what I mean. You need a bit of consistency. And the thing, I thought the only thing, as you were saying, like this season, it would be, he's going to come back the same player. The only thing I thought that would be effective was his heading. And we've seen that. There's been no headed goals. Not as good at winning those aerial duels either to keep the ball. But I think when those other bits have deteriorated as well, like we've only seen flashes of the better hold up play or the assist, those sorts of passes in behind for people. Is it coming? I'm trying to find a way to say that I want him to stay, but I think I'm still going to say I want him to stay anyway. I can't see the other side. Matt, go on, hammer me, but I'm still leaning towards stay.
I think, and again, it all depends how much money they get for him, whether they're adequately going to replace him. I don't think he's been that bad the past few games. Thought he did all right against Liverpool, but he's on a lot of money. he's not been at it this season. He doesn't look the player that he was. And, we always have to say, he's lucky to be alive, etc., 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 which he is. But
yeah,
personally, on the whole, in terms of performances, and I know the goals don't back that up, but I think Silva's had the better performances this season, personally. I know I'm going to get pals for that in the comments, so save yourselves a couple of minutes. But I would get rid of him. It looks like Lewandowski's going to go to Bayern Munich. No, he's already there, to Barcelona. I know there was links there before about him going to Bayern. I'm not sure how true that is, but say if someone offers you like £15 million for him, 15, 20 million, I think you snap your hand. I think you snap the hand off for it. But like, what a player though! What a player in those seasons before the injury. What a fantastic footballer.
Our striker position is so strange in that, like, Silva won our Player of the Month last month, like no goals, no assists. It's so strange how we judge our attackers this season with the lack of goals.
Yeah, I know, and you're almost voting him for Player of the Season because the shift that he put in. I just think his overall game's been a little bit better. I thought you were getting away. I thought you'd had enough.
Sorry,
I just think it has, and I know Raul's top assister, top goal scorer. So it might sound like what I'm saying to a load of rubbish, but from what I've seen, I just feel like Silva's performances have been a little bit better than Jimenez's. But as Dave always says, he's not missing sitters every week. We're not really creating chances, but then he's not getting in the box. But I don't know whether that's because of the head or whatnot. I don't know.
I think personally, we need. Again, I've changed my opinion on this. I can fully understand, if there was a club to come in with that decent fee, I would strongly consider it. But I do think I've got to give him another year first before completely writing him off, because I think it's obvious that if Bruno Lage is the head coach next season, it's obvious that he wants to change the approach. It's obvious that he wants to have a bit more of an emphasis on attacking. And like I said, if he's missing these opportunities, if he's getting himself in, if he's getting the service and he's missing the chances, then fine, I understand. But the service is not there. It's non-existent. We've seen Willian Jose not score. We've seen Fabio Silva not score. We've seen Raul Jimenez not score. We've seen the wingers struggle to get involved as well. So I think he definitely deserves at least another year. And like you said, shown against Liverpool, what he can do, the hold-up play, the service he was giving to Hwang and Pedro Neto. The one thing that it's a little bit of a concern is the dirty side of the game. The City sending off was ridiculous. And I think it's not just Raul. I think that's probably something that Bruno's brought into the team overall. I think the Leeds one was extremely harsh. I've got to say that. But the City one was just plain stupid. And he's got our most red cards out of any player this season. So I think if we can just eliminate that stupidity out of his game for next season, I think he'll be fine. But I'm fairly confident he'll get a lot more than 6 goals next season.
I'm happy to keep him. I am. I don't think that we're gonna. If we see him, I don't think we're gonna go and put down £35 million on a striker, which is what we'd probably need to improve. I know the links to that like Thomas Henry earlier in the week. So if we're going to bring a player in like that, who I don't think is probably better than Jimenez, they'll probably keep Silva. I'd probably want to keep Jimenez around. So
I would like to keep him. I can understand. I think he would understand as well if we buy in another similar caliber striker to give him a lot more competition. I think he will understand that now at this point of his career as well.
It's going to end up being Severovic or someone, isn't it?
From all the strikers, like every striker we've been linked with, they've all shared that profile, don't they? Like that Thomas Henry, 6'4", Kiefer Moore was the original. I think they just want that option, like Plan B target man. So
Severovic is much like that, though, isn't he? I know he's going at the end of the season.
He's a player that thrives on service, though. He is like,
Don't come to Wolves then.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to keep him in as a player that we're moving on to. Matt, is Daniel Podence. Again, a good season.
One, man.
A good season, but there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes which have sort of got question marks over them. We've seen him like tweets after the Liverpool game in regards to Hwang Hee-chan, who we'll come on to shortly. But Wolves struggled, actually, in terms of numbers and in terms of wins and goals. They struggled without him on the pitch this season.
Yeah, and was it up until the Norwich game we'd not scored with Podence off the pitch since November against Everton? I think it was something daft like that. He's had a lot better season than I thought he was. I was happy to get rid of him in the summer. I didn't really see what he brought to the table, but perhaps he was just underutilised by Nuno. You are right though about the other side of it, and he just seems a bit of a baby. Just a whinger. You can see like on Instagram after games where he's like posting screenshots of decisions and stuff like. Just get on with it. And I'm not one of these blokes who, if a player goes down and rolls around, I'm like, get up, because sometimes there's a need for it, but it's every single time. And the tip, we could be pending our own half, and he's still rolling around on the floor when we need an extra man back. That annoys me. That does, and I think it annoys quite a lot of other fans. Been rumours recently that he's refusing to play. I'm not sure how true that is. I think he genuinely has injured or could have played, but with injections, and he said no. Which, you know what, fair enough. It's a short career. You want to make sure you've got longevity with that. But I would keep him. I think he gives us a good option next season, in different roles. But again, if someone comes in for him, how much are you selling for?
I think if you can get your money back for him, I think you do it.
20 mil.
Yeah, in and around that sort of fee, I'd take. But I think you're right. I think he's a player that is fairly versatile, can play through the middle, can play on the wing as well. Just got to add that more sort of edge of ruthlessness to his game. I think he picked up some nice positions this season. Had a couple of chances put on the plate for him. I think Brighton away, Adama gave him one or two good opportunities, which he fluffed. Finn, what are your quick thoughts on Podence?
Yeah, he makes our best team this season, doesn't he? Definitely. We were a better team with him in it. But if his head's not there, if he does want to go, I think that Liverpool warm-up reaction shows that his frustrations recently might not be that like he didn't want to play. It might be that how is certain other players starting ahead of me. So I share that frustration. So if that can be worked out, I think he gets in our best starting 11. So unless someone comes in with a big bid, like you say, I'd probably lean towards keeping him. Yeah, I really like him.
Yeah. Moving on now to Frank the Tank, Francisco Trincao. Finn, been an extremely strange season for him as well. Coming in on loan from Barcelona, I was very excited. I'm sure a number of Wolves fans were as well. And he's really struggled to hit the ground running. Wolves got an option of 25 to 30 million euros. Is that something that you'd be triggering this summer?
It's not value for money, is it? On what we've seen, but you see flashes. You see him score however many. What's he got? 3 or 4 goals from outside the box that are beauties, and that's what makes your brain go, "Oh, possibly." But realistically, if we're strapped for cash and we're going to have to sell to buy, I don't think spending nearly 30 is worth it. But we've managed to dig ourselves into a hole with Adama that it might. Basically, I think a lot of these attackers, we've created our own problems on the recruitment scene. I think we've got, Adama, Hwang, Trincao to discuss, and they're not as simple as sort of like buy, sell, whatever. So if there's a resolution there with Adama, possibly that's the only way I can see anything working. But for that money, again, he could be one where he goes on to be an unbelievable player, which is in there. And I think it'll be in a different league to the Premier League if he does, because his skill set that he's got is fantastic for a league abroad. We haven't quite seen it. It's a shame, but I wouldn't be exercising. I wouldn't be paying that money, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Matt, what are your thoughts on the Trincao situation?
Honestly, I think if you ask me in two minutes' time, I'd change my mind. Like, I just cannot make my mind up about this. He's still only 22, and we have seen flashes of absolute brilliance. I don't know. I feel like we might regret it if we let him go. There's no way that we're paying 25 to 30 million pounds for him, though. Personally, I wouldn't pay that. I feel like we fucked it a little bit with Adama. Well, not a bit, massively. Because if you could incorporate a swap deal with Adama going to Barca, do Barca want Adama now?
No.
Like, do they want him at all?
No.
I think Xavi's made his mind up about him, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a real difficult one. It's a really difficult one. I'd have to say no, don't keep him, purely because I don't think the finances will be right. But I've enjoyed watching him play. I really have. When he's on it, he's a really good player to watch technically.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to say let him go as well. I do agree. It's obvious there is a footballer there, but to me, his attitude has just looked like he's not asked all year as well. And that's he's giving me those sort of vibes. He's had one or two stinkers. West Ham game away, I thought he was absolutely horrific. And I said, I think on the podcast after that, I'd be surprised to see him in a Wolves shirt again.
He walked
again,
off the pitch, didn't he?
Yeah, he had like little cameo at Liverpool as well, the final game of the season. Maybe that is his final few minutes. I don't know, but yeah, I would probably say no to that one, unless we can broker some sort of deal with Barca, but I don't think that's going to happen personally. Fabio Silva, Matt, you mentioned him earlier on. It's probably been a season for him where he probably again hasn't been given as much chances as he probably should have been given. Has he developed much as a player under Bruno Lage? We can't really tell. But he's getting to that point now in his career where I suppose, he's still young. He's, still what, 19, 20.
That point in his Wolves career, though, I think.
Yeah, that he's got to, this summer's crucial for him. And again, for me, it's obvious that there is some sort of player there. He's an intelligent player. He picks up the space as well. I think in some of the cup games, he did extremely well. I'd love to keep him, but at the same time, I want to see him getting first team football. But is a loan move out too risky for Fabio Silva, as mad as it sounds?
Absolutely. And I know I've said he's done well this season in some of his overall games, been better than Raul, but can't put the ball in the back of the net. And I think I know it's cliche, but I think once he gets a couple, you'll see it turn, and I think he'll be quite fruitful in front of the goal. But if he goes out on loan and it's the same story, he's worth naffle, and to pay £35 million for him, which was criminal, really, considering. I think they have to keep him. It's too much of a risk. If you pay £3.5 million for him, he's the first player out on loan, but it's too much of a risk for the club to take.
Part of me, like one half of me is thinking, oh my God, he'd go to the Championship and I think he could easily bag 15 plus goals. But then another part of me is thinking, like Matt said, if he goes out and can't hit a barn door with a banjo, then Wolves have shot themselves in the foot, haven't they?
Exactly. Like if you just picture like 3 goals at Blackburn next season, you know what I mean? Like, where do you go from there? So I think it is a keep by, again, a situation that we've put ourselves in. But there is promise there. He's not completely useless, is he? Like he's played really well in a few games this season in the limited chances that he's had. I think you keep and he plays that same role, maybe with a little bit more involvement. But as you say, then he'll be 3 years deep into his Wolves career. Probably, how many starts has he had now? I suppose the Raul season, he had quite a few starts there, but maybe this season and next, if he's only had, 10, 15 starts, it's then what do you do? It's a strange one, again, that we put ourselves in, but keep, I think, by no choice.
Yeah. Let's go with keep with Fabio Silva then. And another player that there's been talks about a loan move out, but he's started to impress over the last few weeks. Finn Chiquinho came in from Estoril. Struggled to maybe sort of break into the first team setup when he first joined. Had a few appearances for the under-23s, but every time he's been given minutes in the first team, especially in recent weeks, he's been a shining star, really, hasn't he?
Yeah, I really like him. Versatile, quite unorthodox. Like his body type, I just enjoy watching him from the limited bits that I've seen. Can whip a ball in. I think he was playing a lot more like inverted on the left for Estoril, but I don't think we've only seen him on the right, whether that's deeper on the right or further up. But from what I've seen, a lot of promise there. There could be an argument if he's only going to see the sort of minutes that he's seen with us that he might be better getting a loan out. And he's one that I'd probably be quite confident in doing well on loan. He gives me that sort of feeling that he's that sort of character. But I kind of want to keep him around. He excites me. So, yeah, I'd want to keep him around.
What do you think, Matt? Obviously, like Finn said, he's a good player. He's come off the bench and he's been really good at times. I think a loan move would make sense, but what do you reckon? Maybe it depends on the rest of our business, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I think if you have Trincao going, I think maybe Adama may go. I don't know where. There's 2 players that you've lost already in those positions, so you keep him. If they bring in a couple of other players, then I wouldn't be adverse to him going out on loan, because I don't think he's not going to be starting many games. Yes, he's going to be coming off the bench and making an impact, but You want to go and see what he does in another league, getting first team minutes and bring him back, because still only a young lad. He's still 22, but you can tell like he's tenacious. He's got so much determination about his play, and he's absolutely rapid. I didn't realise how quick he was until the Man City game where he absolutely smoked Laporte. So there's a player in there, and most importantly, from a quick wide player, he's got a fairly good delivery too. So maybe he's an important player for next season, with the way that we know that Bruno's played before. Again, there's no guarantees he's going to go back to that, but who knows?
Imagine him out on loan to a team with a striker that's like 6'4" plus. Mate. Assists for days, mate, with that whip on him. Mr. Whippy. What are we saying then? Keep or loan out? Or
I'd say keep, purely because we're going to be one light with Trincao going. So
okay, yeah.
Supposedly going.
No, yeah. Matt, Hwang Hee-chan. Sign him, obviously. Go on.
Sorry, Dave. We should wait to exercise the clause or not, surely. Now we've got the choice.
So, yeah, Hwang Hee-chan signed on loan in the summer, just going into when the season started, actually. I was excited. We were linked with him for a while. He was a player that I thought, right, here we go. Hit the ground running fantastically well, scored a handful of goals. But Matt, what has happened to him? He's fell off a cliff since November, and he has been nothing short of atrocious over the last couple of months, let's say.
He has, but he's also quite thoughtful. He's brought Bruno a larger box of cookies for his birthday. So not all is lost. Yeah. The thing is, though, as well, Nuno apparently turned him down a couple of seasons ago, and I was like, "Hey, he's a prick. What's he doing?" And now we're all saying he's shit. So it's a bit strange, isn't it? He started his career really well.
So what you're saying is that you want Nuno back in charge of transfers?
God, why does he do this to me? We're going to sign him anyway, aren't we? So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but say we sign him 1st of June or July, whenever it goes through, and you sell him, you put him on the job, mate. If someone come in and match the value or gave me a couple mil more, I'm getting rid.
Well, like City was supposedly linked with him, weren't they? Like Liverpool, in November. Nah, I can't see that happening at all. He has fell off drastically. I remember saying when he was on that run of form, where I was like, if he gets within the width of the goal, like I feel confident he's going to like at least hit the target. He's like a completely different player to that now. I don't know if it's the injuries. I've never seen a bloke with such big quads be so weak as well. It's a real strange one that they've triggered the deal, because you think about it, they triggered it in January. In February, he could break his leg.
Like, it didn't make no sense, man. It didn't make
absolutely no sense. And I don't think everyone says it's a PR signing, and the club are saying you have to play him because it's commercially makes sense. That's bollocks. Like no manager has been told you have to play this player because off the field it makes sense, unless you're an absolute global phenomenon, which he isn't. If you're given a chance now not to exercise the option to buy him, I wouldn't. But looks like we're stuck with him, and maybe if you play him in his actual position, that'll help as well, because he's not a winger, second striker, or off the shoulder.
If Jeff Shee came to you now, Matt, and said, "Do you want Hwang Hee-chan to be part of your squad next season?" What are you saying? Yes or no?
No.
So would you sell him? No. If you got given the option, would you sell him?
Yeah, but I don't think people will, because he's like, he's just signed for a new club. He's not going to want to leave unless they've got something lined up.
A Phobie type deal.
Yeah, but I don't think they do, because Bruno obviously likes him. Like he can put a 2 out of 10 in, and he gets. Well, I mean, I would be incentivized by cookies if I'm totally honest. So perhaps that's what it is. But I think it speaks volumes that when he tried to keep the ball in against Liverpool, where it's been flashed across the box, he doesn't get there, and he tries to.
Don't bring that up. Flipping heck.
I don't know. Was it Maldini who was used to do the tackle where he'd like scoop it round? Yeah. He tries to keep the ball in like that, and Podence and Silva are like,
they're creasing out, aren't they?
They're fuming. So
Finn, the good thing about Hwang is that the YouTube views have gone up 200% on the Wolves page, but performances have probably gone down 200% whenever he's on the pitch. So, what are your honest opinions on Hwang Hee-chan and his position at this club next season?
I think, like Matt said, we haven't played him in the right way. If we played him as a winger, one, he's not that, and two, he's sort of coming deep when the best times we've seen him is on that last shoulder because he's rapid, as you say, massive legs,
Gosh,
and and can get in behind. And when you've got the first touch that he has, it isn't helping when he's having to do that sort of linking up play and everything. So you want him sort of on that ball over the top. All you've got is 1 or 2 touches maximum. And for the first half of the season, I'd have been confident he'd have scored it. Then since, I mean, even like in the Liverpool game, the sort of pass to 8-Nori that should have been a lot easier or could have even looked somewhere different. So he's lost the sort of the link-up play, the touch, the finishing. But we have seen it there at the start of the season. So you can't say that he's an awful footballer. I just think if we'd have just done the logical thing and waited until we were meant to exercise a deal, everyone would say, no, don't exercise it now. But we're in this position. And he'll probably get a go next season. So if we are going to keep him, I'd at least like to see us play to his strengths, if you know what I mean. And we're sort of, again, another one we've done this to ourselves. So let's see.
So I'm saying sell. What are we going to sell? Or...
If you do sell,
but no, forget the fact that we've only just signed him. Like, would you want him as part of your squad next season?
I'd have him as long as he would want to be starting every week.
Yeah,
but. No, let's stop being sensible in regards to if it's viable. Let's just say
you hate him, don't you?
No, I just want to. I know that it might be difficult to sell him, but would you sell him if you had the chance? Would you sell him right now?
Yeah,
financially, it makes no sense, though, does it?
No, I said stop being sensible.
So, what would you sell him for? What if someone gave him $5 million?
The same price that we just bought him for, plus a pack of cookies that he's homemade.
Because we've just said we wouldn't pay that. So.
I ain't got 14 million in my bank account.
14 million, a packet of Marylands, and you've got a deal.
No profit, yeah.
Respect double chocolate cookies from Sainsbury's.
No, I'm putting the white chocolate and raspberry or blueberry ones.
No, you're moving mad.
You're moving fruity still.
Yeah. We'll move on now. Finn, Chem Campbell, good breakthrough. Well, I say breakthrough. He's been in and around. Been given a handful of opportunities before. Been in the first team this season, but a really good season for him in the 23. Starting to add goals, a lot more goals and assists to his name. Do you think now it's the right time to get him a good loan move away? I think he spoke about it just before Christmas. Stayed obviously in January, but yeah, is it now the right time?
Yeah, definitely. He's got to that level where he's like targeted in the under 23 games that I've seen as well. So he's clearly like our main guy. He has that sort of aura about him as well. So I back him to do well on loan. Maybe, where do you reckon, like League One level, maybe? I'm not sure whether...
Yeah, upper league, same as maybe Corbiano or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm happy with that. Looking forward to his sort of progression. He's only young. What's he now? 18, 19?
Probably older than that, to be fair, I don't know. Yeah, probably 19, actually. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, 19 years of age, yeah. Matt, what do you think? Chem Campbell, loan?
Yeah, loan. Been impressed with him through the 23s this season. Look, he's got a bit of flair about him. So, yeah, I would send him out on loan. Like I said, he's done well this year. So go out and prove it in a Mons league. So yeah, not in first. It's a weird one again though, because Bruno says I have him and Chiquinho at the same level. So he likes that comparison. And I don't know if he's using that as almost like a motivational tool for either or, like he did with Giles and Nate, but. Yeah, send him out on loan, but been impressed.
This one's a little bit of a weird one because he's still out on loan until January. It's Leonardo Campana having a really decent start to the MLS season with Inter Miami, Matt. They do have an option to buy, which I'm sure would give Wolves a profit on him. But I know he's doing okay in America, but he's not someone that you would actively look to bring back into the first team, is he?
No, I think it's about around £3 million, isn't it? For the option to buy. Yeah, get rid of him, mate. Didn't you buy one of his shirts, mate? Is that
what? Yeah, it's somewhere down here. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Just about there. Signed shirt. Yeah. Leonardo, if you're watching,
Bagsman.
It's a Europa League Matt's issue shirt, to be fair. So all those Europa League games he played. So, Finney, you're saying just let him go?
Yeah, it's a shame.
It really is.
Physically, he looks
that resale value on that shirt is about £4 the frames worth more on the shirt.
And another little South American superstar that could have come through. It would have been nice as well. But yeah, physically, he's all there. He looks like he's going to be a fantastic footballer. And obviously, we haven't seen much of it in a Wolves. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good in the kit. So if that's enough to carry him through, I don't know. But yeah, if you can get a couple of million, I don't think we signed him for much. So yeah, probably.
No, I think they paid. Didn't they pay? They paid a couple
like
million for him.
So you're under $1 million, I think.
Was it? Well, I mean,
950 something.
Say he's playing for Inter Miami now. What do you say if Inter Miami comes to you and say, "We want Jimenez and Campana. He's 25 million."
Yeah, I'd snap your arm off.
Would you?
Yeah, 25. What this summer?
Both of them. For both of them.
Yeah. If they've got an option of 3 million, 22 for Jimenez.
How about you, Phil?
Prefer not to speak.
Mini Raul's probably watching this thinking as soon as he says this.
I'm deleting you off PlayStation, you mate. Well, a player that we've obviously mentioned briefly, but not in depth as of yet, Finn, Adama Traore.
I'd love to keep him, but if he's not going to sign, if he doesn't want to be here, then get rid of him. If we're playing, again, it all comes down to what we're going to play next season, but if we've got two separate, I suppose if you've got 6 players to play along a 3, if we were going to play like a 4-2-3-1, I'd love him as like one of the 6 on the right. If you've got Neto, Adama, like Morgan in the middle, I'd just love to see it happen. Like that'd be chaos. And I think we'd score a lot more goals with a setup like that. But I've got to be a grown up for once and not just look at the pretty dribbles. Realistically, it's probably a sell. If he doesn't want to be here, we're going to lose him for free. If not, it's a tricky one, and another one that we've sort of managed to find ourselves in through poor management of it. But
yeah,
I've said I want to keep, but realistically, it's a sell, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Wolves have sort of again shot themselves in the foot with this situation, and it's obvious they've learned from it because we're going to see it a lot this summer where players have got that sort of 2 years left on their deal now. It doesn't look like things may have changed, but it doesn't look like Adama's going to sign a new deal. Possibly a straight swap deal or something similar. There's many players in and around Spain that Wolves have looked at, such as Gonzalo Guedes at Valencia. What's your stance on Adama now?
Can we just appreciate how fucking bad of a deal it was to send in there?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was so obvious they weren't going to trigger it for that amount of money.
Mate.
So obvious.
I remember listening to the Transfer Window podcast, I think it's called, with that Duncan Castles. And it said on there that there's no obligation to buy, but the general feeling between Barcelona and Adama is that they probably will buy him for 30 million euros. And I listened to that and I thought there is absolutely no way that they put 30 million pound down on Adama. Like, whoever signed that off, have a long hard look at yourself in the mirror, son, because I can't even comprehend how stupid it was.
Well, according to Scott Sellers, it was the right deal for both clubs, Matt. So I don't know.
I was going to say,
it's the right deal for one club, and it's
all down.
Yeah.
I know you never know. There's rumours, obviously, that we won't go into, that he wanted to go back home for family reasons. I think he's gone back with the best intentions. He's supposedly took a pay cut to play for his boyhood club. He wants to go make an impact back there, but he's just not at that level, is he really? Doesn't help that Ousmane Dembele's turned back into the player he once was. But there's talk that he might go now again. I'd probably... I don't know, because I think the impact he offers, he's worth about, I don't know, you're probably going to get 12 million for him, something like that, 12, 15 million. Like, maybe you just bite the bullet and be like, give us impacts off the bench. He might change a couple of games. So, depends. It honestly depends where his head's at.
Yeah.
But I can see him going back to Spain, like you said, like the Guedes, he's out of contract next summer. You might say Traore plus 5 million, something like that. But he's been excellent this season for Valencia, so they might want a bit more for him. But John Percy reported that Wolves were interested in Guedes, didn't they? But again, that's just like, if it's a box ticking exercise, isn't it really?
So what are we saying? We're gonna put Traore to go.
So.
Yeah. Yes, Finn. Finn don't look impressed.
Yeah, fine. Well, it's like if he signs a new contract, obviously, but it's not going to happen. So really, yeah, realistically, to sell.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Patrick Cutrone, Finn. Yes, he is still a Wolves player. Wolves spent how much did we pay for him?
16.5 million, I think.
Well, I don't think he will get 6.5 thousand quid for him at the minute. 16.2 million according to Transfer Marks. Finn. He's at Empoli this season. Obviously due back to Wolves. He scored 3 goals and 1 assist in 28 games this season in the league. 24 years of age, Finn. Thoughts?
1 less than Cody. It's not bad. Yeah, it's sell, but it's just who will take him. Empoli would one of the strugglers as well, weren't they, down the bottom? If they're not that interested, he's selling him to like a second-tier Italian club. I don't know, but we take the hit now, don't we? It's like another poor piece of business, selling for the couple of mil that you might get, if that.
Yeah. And Matt, we saw his agent on the pre-season tour with Wolves, sorting out deals for him last summer.
So funny that was.
Yeah,
you've got Bruno saying I'll give him a chance, and then he's posing for pictures around the pool with his agent saying can't wait for him to get me out of this shithole.
It's obvious that he doesn't want to be at Wolves. Is this a sell?
I honestly think they'll come to an agreement in the summer and mutually terminate his contract.
He's only got 1 year left on his deal, hasn't he? So
who's going to buy him? Who is going to buy him? You'd be lucky to get £2 or £3 million for him. It's got to go down as one again, like under the same category as the Adama to Barcelona deal. That's absolute brain dead.
When we signed him, I genuinely thought he was going to be the next Steve Bull.
Yeah, maybe.
I was very wrong. I said that about Yannick. I said that about Yannick Sagbo as well. To be fair, but
I mean, what's his goal scoring record been like? How many did he get at Wolves? Was it
Wolves?
3 goals? Not Sagbo, Cutrone.
Oh.
The West Ham goal, didn't he? And then
Chelsea scored against Chelsea. Just having a look now. So
Chelsea. Oh, when we got
in the absolute pumping. Yeah. So
that was it. Yeah, two goals in the Premier League, 1 goal in the EFL Cup. I don't know who that was against.
Yeah. So he
scored in the Europa League as well.
Scored 4 at Fiorentina before coming back. He went to Valencia, didn't score. Went to Fiorentina, didn't score. And then went to Empoli and scored 3. So what's that?
He got 7 goal involvements in 28 games for Wolves.
You know what? I quite liked him. His movement was very clever, but we didn't play to his strengths.
He's too similar to Silva and Jimenez in regards to he's not like a monster in terms of height, but also he's not ultra quick either. And at the time that we signed him, we should have probably been looking for someone that was slightly different to Jimenez, rather than someone that's an exact same sort of poacher type. Well, I think Jimenez has more to his game than being a poacher, but that's what Cutrone is. So
9 goals in 3 years doesn't look great, does it? But it's probably more than
so I think
Silva. So if that's the case, then get him in the first team by our reckoning. So
it looks like it's going to be a sell for Cutrone, but I think you're right, Matt. It could be he goes for pence in the summer.
I just think they'll just cut the losses and be like, look, we can't be arsed finding you a new club. No one's interested. He's probably not going to want to come back to Wolves and just sit and rot, is he? So he might take a hit on being bought like out of his contract, because he obviously hates living in England. I don't think he speaks English either, does he? So
yeah. Well, what a disaster that transfer has been. Another person that you'll be surprised to know is under contract at Wolves is Leo Bonatini.
Jeez.
At Grasshoppers, believe it or not, and this wasn't, and I think they would have got pelters. They never publicised this, but he signed a new deal at Wolves before he went to Grasshoppers.
No, I did say that.
So Wolves gave him another year on his existing contract, so he had 2 years at Grasshoppers, and then now he's got another year left. This has got to be another sell, hasn't it? Again, this could be another one. They thingy as well.
I reckon they probably thought he'll go to Grasshoppers, score an absolute shit ton. Someone in the Championship will want him. Like 2 or 3 million.
How has he done?
He's 28 now, Leo Bonatini, and
7 goals this season
across his 2 campaigns at Grasshoppers. So obviously the last 2 years, he's got a grand total of 20 goals in 59 games.
That's not bad though.
6
I know it's a
assists.
shit league, but like
1 in 3.
I think I could score 20 and 60 there, though. Possibly.
Well,
Thoughts,
that's
Phil?
like that level. Obviously, it's not. If he comes to the Premier, he wouldn't. He probably wouldn't even get a goal.
Yeah,
But
so it's a sell. Yeah, weird.
Sell. And one player that I've missed off my list as well, which I'll add now, is Theo Corbinu, however you wish to pronounce it. Again, another one that was one of the few loan decisions in January, which were quite interesting, where Wolves moved the said player from one club to another. He was at Sheffield Wednesday, was, in Wolves' opinion, misused, and went to MK Dons, who, again, Wolves thought played a bit more of an attacking style, a more attractive style. They actually got to the playoffs, MK Dons, I believe, and missed out on getting the promotion. Finn, is it another loan move out for Corbianu?
Yeah, I think so. MK Dons initially, I remember them raving about him. Haven't heard much since then. I think Sheffield Wednesday were playing him as a wing back, weren't they? As well, which Wolves weren't too happy about. So yeah, I like to see it again. Did he score? Was it him that scored the banger as well? When he scored, I remember there being when he first moved to MK Dons, scored a banger, and there was a lot of hype around him. So maybe a championship move if he's impressed that much. If not, if MK Dons are going to have a stab at promotion again, maybe they might want him back. We'll see. But yeah, I think it's not. He's probably not our level yet, is he, for the Prem? So another loan might do him good. Yeah,
you agree with that, Matt?
Yeah, I agree. I remember looking on Twitter when MK Dons were in the playoffs, and everyone was saying that White player is a special player, man. He's a good player, and they were talking about Corbianu. So he's obviously excelling at that level. So yeah, another loan move. How old is he now? 20, 21? So
I'd say so.
Still
quick search again.
20
years age. Yeah, turned 20 last week. So yeah. Happy birthday for you. I think that is all, lads. So we have covered the goalkeepers and defenders, the midfielders, and today the forwards as well. Guys, do let us know your thoughts on this video, and be sure to check out the midfielders and the goalkeeper defender versions as well. Lads, I do appreciate you sitting down with me for the last hour or two to discuss these players. Guys, plenty more content coming up for you between now and the start of next season. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video, and we will see you all very, very soon.